The prospect of Vasily Lomachenko landing his first super fight against Mikey Garcia slipped away when the latter decided to jump up to 140 pounds and challenge Sergey Lipinets for his IBF super lightweight or light welterweight crown this coming Saturday. It's a bit of a shame because I thought when Garcia came back after his 2-year hiatus and beat Dejan Zlaticanin, first ever world champion from Montenegro, I believe, he'd previously, Zlaticanin that is, had previously out-hustled Ricky Burns, and then Garcia blasted him in 3 rounds, showing the difference in class there. He looked great, lovely balance, short, powerful punches, read him beautifully, and gave us one of the knockouts of the year. Had Lomachenko fought that Garcia, and certainly managed to bamboozle him like he does with all his opponents, that would have been a tremendous scalp and really have pushed his case as starting to become an all-time great. As it is, as I've said, Garcia is fighting Lipinets coming up at a higher weight, another one beyond lightweight, so he can't fight him, and Lomachenko is left trying to figure out who to fight at the moment. Potentially Jorge Linares, which would be excellent, but we're still not sure. Lomachenko is penned in for the 12th of May in Madison Square Garden, but if he is unable to get the Jorge Linares fight, he is probably going to have to settle for somebody lesser, some opposition that's probably a little lukewarm compared to his talents at the moment, which are absolutely on fire. Some people think he is the pound-for-pound #1 guy at the moment. Certainly in terms of talent, if you said he was pound-for-pound #1, I could not argue. He's absolutely tremendous, Lomachenko, to watch. He really is the modern equivalent of Willie Pep, if you knew who that guy was in the featherweight, which is a hell of a compliment. His other pound-for-pound compadre, though, Terence Crawford, he's jumped up to a weight which has got a lot of options, a lot of household names, at least for those who know their boxing, the likes of Thurman and Spence as well. If he managed to beat a few of those guys, he would have a pretty impressive legacy already in terms of modern standards. Whereas Lomachenko, in terms of his talent, he finds himself a little out at sea at the moment. And the other point I worry about is that someone like Crawford, his style is probably going to age a little better. He's got the longer range, he can box on the back foot, he can take it easier during the rounds. Lomachenko is like a ball of energy. He's tremendously skilled, he looks like he's playing with you there at times, but his style relies on agility, quick fire, lots of reactions, lots of little movements. That kind of style probably wears at the joints more. So in terms of his options, in terms of who he can fight, and he's 30 about to turn 30 already, I just worry that some of his best years and best potential might be wasted against guys who aren't really befitting of being able to test him. There were talks about Lomachenko possibly fighting Gervonta Davis, that talented little upstart mentored by Floyd Mayweather, but I think Davis's team were probably right in thinking, nah, let's just skip that one. The talented Ukrainian would very probably lose Gervonta in his endless box of tricks, so it's a good idea that he didn't go along with that one. But it does bring up the question again of who is Vasily going to fight? What does he have to do to get quality names on his resume? And what's the solution if there doesn't appear to be any in the weight class that he's in at the moment? Is he going to have to keep going up in weights to hunt bigger game, better opponents? I fear he hasn't got the best frame for that. Someone like Mayweather, who had that longer reach, better suited to going up the weights. Lomachenko kind of got stumpy arms. Not the biggest puncher either, so he'd have to purely rely on the speed and the skills, which could just about be enough because of how good they are against certain opponents, but it wouldn't be the best idea because he'd be giving up a lot then. Should he just stay at one weight and try and rack up a lot of defences, or is the modern day, is that not really suited because it takes a long time to set up fights? What's the solution here? Because there are so many YouTube videos that have already been made for the man dubbed High Tech, who's got such a talent, he's got such a mesmerising way of fighting that's very rare. I think it's really captured people's imagination, those who are initiated in their boxing. What does he have to do to start getting the names that could go on to create a legacy that would be befitting of his talents? What do you think? What's the options?